بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So inshallah tonight we'll stop at Durus al-Muhimma, important lessons for every Muslim for the time being, so that we can complete Kitab al-Siyam before Ramadan. So that we can complete Kitab al-Siyam before Ramadan and prepare for Ramadan. Inshallah. Allahumma ballagana Ramadan. If Allah allows us to reach Ramadan, to live to see it. So we'll read from Umdah Al-Fiqh. Umdah Al-Fiqh by Muwaffiq ibn Qudama rahimahullah. Muwaffiq al-Din ibn Qudama rahimahullah. And Umdah Al-Fiqh is according to the fiqh of Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal rahimahullah. Imam Ahmed, who was famous for a lot of things. One of the most famous things he was famous for was defending the aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah when he was tortured during his time, because the ruler during his time, rahimahullah, believed that the Quran was created. So Imam Ahmed rahimahullah stood up during his time, and he was tortured, prisoned, and it's known as the Mihna of Imam Ahmed, the trial of Imam Ahmed. But like the other ulama, he wasn't restricted to knowledge of an aqeedah. He wasn't restricted to knowledge of al-aqeedah. As Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah, he was an imam in aqeedah, he was an imam in fiqh, this science here, fiqh. He was an imam in hadith. He has a musnad. The musnad of Imam Ahmed is printed in maybe 50 volumes. The musnad of Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah, is printed right now in about 50 volumes. His madhab is the later of the four, as Imam Abu Hanifa came first as far as time, and then Imam Malik rahimahullah, and then Imam Shafi'i was after Imam Malik. Imam Ahmed came last as far as sequential order in time. So Ibn Qudama rahimahullah, he wrote not one book, but books. He's from the scholars of the madhab of Imam Ahmed. And like the ulama, like they do, he wrote books on levels. This level being the first level book for the beginner. Umdah Al-Fiqh. Umdah Al-Fiqh is the first of the four books that Imam Muwaffiq al-Din ibn Qudama wrote the book. Ibn Qudama wrote Umdah Al-Fiqh first for the beginner. So he wrote them on four levels. When the person finishes and masters Umdah Al-Fiqh, he wrote a book on the next level, Al-Muqni'. Al-Muqni' is a little more detailed than Umdah. This book is Umdah, level 1. Level 1 is pretty much straight to the point. It's almost like you're teaching a new shahada. When you teach a new shahada, you don't really give them all the hadith and all the dalil, all the ayat. You take a new shahada to the wudu station, say Bismillah. Alright, start with your right, wash your right hand 3 times. Up to, do this. That's the sunnah. Right? You don't really tell her it's a hadith in Bukhari that says you gotta do this and narrate the hadith to a new person, to a beginner. The beginner, you tell them what it is, give them a picture, this is why we do this best, and you go to the next thing. This book is on that level. It gives you the picture of what we're talking about firstly, and when a person masters the first level, then they're ahlan to move to the second level. The second level book that he wrote is Al-Muqni'. The same author, Ibn Qudama. So first he wrote Umdah Al-Fiqh, which is this book, then he wrote Al-Muqni' for the second level, which is more detailed than the first level. Then he wrote the third level, al-kafi. Al-kafi. Al-kafi is more detailed than the first and the second level. Everything that's in the first two levels is in the third level, with more detail, a mention of some differences of opinion. And then lastly, he wrote Al-Mughni, the famous book Al-Mughni, which brings a lot of khilaf, a lot of difference of opinion between the ulama on the masail, on the different issues. So this book, as it is the minhaj of a beginner, a talib ilm, the one who's learning, is that you start with the level that is appropriate for the beginner. It's not from the minhaj of learning that a person is on a certain level and they can jump to a level that they haven't reached yet. And that's a way that people waste time. It's a waste of time, for lack of better words, because you haven't grasped the information on the first level. If you grasp the information on the first level, all of that information on level 1 is in level 2, with extra. So he wrote this book, pretty straightforward, some ahadith, some dalil. Every issue he mentions, he doesn't mention the dalil is this. Qala Allah Ta'ala. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said this. It's a level book that gives you basically a surah, taswir al-masala. What are we talking about? What is fasting? How to do it? What can you do? What can't you do? Sometimes in the level 1, they may mention why, sometimes they don't. Tayyib. Not that there isn't dalil for what he's saying. Not that he doesn't have dalil. That dalil, the evidence is mentioned in levels 2 and level 3. In level 1, what is it? What's the ruling? Is it permissible? Halal or haram? Right? Is this the sunnah or is it not the sunnah? Tayyib. Level 1. Tayyib. Umdah Al-Fiqh. So, hopefully, inshallah, when we finish Ad-Durus Al-Muhimma, we can start this from the beginning. From Kitab Al-Tahara. Tayyib. So it's not a bunch of khilaf, it's not a bunch of difference of opinion mentioned in the book. Maybe I'll just throw it out there every now and then, just so sometimes we hear stuff that's different and we think, it's not from the sunnah because we haven't heard it. So after Kitab Al-Tahara, Kitab Al-Salat, the book of purification, the book of Salat, Janazah, Zakat, he starts with Kitab Al-Siyam. Qala rahimahullah, Kitab Al-Siyam. Firstly, and he doesn't even mention it here, but in the more detailed books or in the explanations, we first got to know what is a siyam, ma'na siyam. What does it mean when we say siyam Ramadan? What does fasting means? Because they always give a definition to make sure we're on the same page, right? If we start off when we're talking about something and we assume everybody understands the word to mean the same thing, that's an assumption. You might think fasting is one thing and the next person thinks fasting is another thing. So they always start off with the definition of what's being spoken about, what we get ready to speak about. So number 1, al-siyam in the Arabic language, al-imsak. Al-imsak, sometimes that word is written on the prayer schedules. Before Fajr or sunrise, it says imsak at the top, right? Sometimes it says Fajr, imsak. You with me?
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I just wanted to ask, is it all right if we, while you're talking, stop
yeah, you stop me.
to
Yeah.
ask your question?
No problem.
Okay, so I wanted to ask a question. All right, this question is, what the difference between the fast that they speak about in Surah 2, Ayat 183, 87, and the fast that they speak about in Surah 19, Surah to Maryam.
J.
Okay, when she vows to fast.
J.
Two different fasts, right?
Sorry.
Could you?
It's not 2 different fasts, it's 2 different meanings.
Okay, 2 different meanings.
The one in Surah Al-Thamaraat is the linguistic meaning, to refrain from something, to hold back.
Right.
She's talking about holding back, and that surah is talking about refraining from talking.
Right. Okay.
Right? Al-insak is to refrain from, it could be from anything. In that case, in Surah Al-Thamaraat, and that's one of the in the detail, the more detailed books, that's the ayat that they use for the meaning of siyam. For the meaning of siyam, al-imsak, as is mentioned in Surah Al-Maryam. The linguistic meaning in the Arabic language. In Arabic, it means al-imsak, to refrain from something. But when we're talking about siyam Ramadan, we're not talking about anything. It's talking about something specific. So it says shar'an, the legislated meaning, imsak biniyatin an ashya makhsusa fi zamanin mu'ayyan min shakhsin makhsus. When we talk about fasting Ramadan, imsak biniyah, to refrain with the intention. You got to have an intention to fast Ramadan. Every action of worship, every action of ibadah, worship has to have an intention. So it's to refrain with the intention an ashya makhsusa, to refrain from specific things, as we don't have to refrain from everything during the daytime, right? We can talk, right? There's some things we can do, things we can do during the daytime. We don't have to stop working. We don't have to refrain from certain things. Some things we have to refrain from, some things we don't. So the definition, imsak with niyat, to refrain, to have a niyat to refrain from specific things, fi zamanin mu'ayyan, during a specific time. Because it's not like we fast Ramadan from the first day to the end, sun up to sundown, right? Meaning we never break the fast. We break fast. We break fast, we fast the next day. Break fast, fast the next day. During a specific time, min shakhsin makhsus, from a specific person, as it's an individual effort. Everybody has to fast their own fast. So this is the fast that we're talking about. When they say kitab siyam, they're not talking about the linguistical meaning of just refraining from something. We're talking about refraining from having an intention, refraining from specific things during a specific time from a specific person. طيب. قال رحمه الله كتاب الصيام. The first thing he mentions is who is it obligatory? Who is fasting obligatory on? ويجب صيام رمضان على كل مسلم بالغ عاقل قادر على الصوم. It mentions 4 descriptions. If a person meets these 4 descriptions, then it's obligatory to fast Ramadan. The first one he says, على كل مسلم. طيب. If it's obligatory on every Muslim, and this is how the books are understood, then that excludes who?
The non-believer.
The non-Muslim. طيب. واضح? If he says يجب صيام رمضان على كل مسلم, that excludes the non-Muslim. طيب. بالغ. You know بالغ? Huh?
Purity? Puberty.
There you go, puberty. Puberty. If a person reaches puberty, once a person reaches puberty, fasting becomes obligatory. Fasting Ramadan is obligatory. And if baligh is mentioned, that means if the one who reaches puberty is obligatory, and it's understood that the one who didn't reach puberty is not obligatory. Sorry?
Right. Now, reaching puberty, for the female, the young girl, and for the young boy, like teenagers like we have, what would be the for the girl and what would be for the boy? Consider puberty as age or like
The hair growing either in the private area or under the armpits.
okay. For the boy or well, for both
Both.
of them? Okay.
It's for both. There's only one thing that separates the woman.
Okay.
It's the mince.
Okay.
The mince is the extra one, but hair growing under the armpits or in the private area, or a wet dream, right? Nocturnal emission. Call it. I mean, it's clear. Nocturnal emission is a little cleaner. So yeah. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
For a woman, or they say if they reach the age of 15, khalas. They reach the age of 15, say they don't grow any hair, they don't have any menses, they don't have any dreams,
Okay.
right? None of the other things, but they Khalas, they 15 now, they considered baligh. They reach puberty.
No, 15.
That's for all of them.
Oh, for both of them.
One man and woman.
Okay.
So if the hair grows either in the armpits or in the private area,
Okay.
or they have a dream, nocturnal emission, or they reach the age of 15. Khalas. Now the woman has an extra one. She gets her menses. If she gets her menses, then she's baligh. She's considered baligh. So it's 3 that they share and 1 that's specific to the woman. So that means the one that's not baligh, the one who doesn't have any of those signs, which they call sobi, then they're not, it's not obligatory. It's not obligatory. It doesn't mean they can't fast.
It's just not an obligation.
Hey, it's not an obligation. They can fast, but it's not an obligation. Tayyib. So those are 2. Every Muslim, baligh. Every Muslim who's reached the age of puberty, aqil. They have their sanity. They're sane, they're not crazy, they're not challenged to the point where they need to be cared for, right? Aqil. Which means the one who is not aqil is not obligatory. It's not obligatory. And there's a lot of issues in there. This book here is not, it's not detailed. There's a lot of issues that come from these. You want more detail, you might want to go to Zad al-Mustaqni, the one that Ali is teaching on Saturdays and Mondays. It's a little more detailed than this. There's a lot of issues that stem from just that word aqil. Why is the fast of the, if we say crazy, not crazy, but the person who doesn't have their sanity, mentally challenged, Jade. Why is the fast of the mentally challenged, why is it not obligatory on them? And if they did fast, that is not even valid. Anybody know? The one is a hadith about the one, the pen is lifted. Tayyib. If they fasted, would the fast be sahih? Well, let's just say the crazy one or the one that's under the age of puberty. If he's under the age of puberty, it's 2 categories. It's a category before the age of 7 and a category after the age of 7. Or the one that's mentally challenged. The mentally challenged, they're not able to form an intention anyway. La yaqil an-niyya.
Because they don't know it.
They're not able to even produce mentally.
Just going through the
Right.
motions.
They're not able to mentally produce the intention. And if you can't have it, and the fast needs an intention. And that's mentioned in the more detailed books. Tayyib. Muslim, baligh. He's Muslim or she's Muslim, reach the age of puberty. They're not mentally challenged. Jayyid. Even though it says Majnoon, crazy. And he says Qadir al-Sawm. They have the ability to fast. They have the ability to fast. A person has the ability to fast, they have to fast. So what if they're Muslim, they reach the age of puberty, they have their sanity, but they don't have the ability to fast? Is that possible?
No.
Huh? They might have a sickness, an illness where they can't. They meet the 3, but the 4th one, they don't have the ability. And they're going to speak about that. He speaks about that a little later. So that's first, who is the fast Ramadan obligatory on the 4 people, or the 4 descriptions. Muslim, baligh, they reach the age of puberty, aqil, they have their sanity, and they're able to fast. Tayyib. Now he moves on and he says, وَيُؤْمَرُ بِهِ الصَّبِيِّ إِذَا أَطَاقَهُ. And the one, the youngin, that is, they haven't reached the age of puberty, right? That they still should be commanded to fast. Should still command them to fast. Not because it's obligatory, right? But why would you command a child that is not obligatory for him to fast? Why would you tell him to fast?
To cultivate.
Get it ready.
There you are. To start building them up. So when it's time to start fasting, they might not reach puberty till late. What if they don't reach puberty till 14, 15 maybe? For example, now
It's a hardship.
this might be a hardship. It might be a little harder than if they were trained, so to speak, in the beginning, while they were young, they were trained. And sometimes I've seen kids 6 fast the whole. It's training. As a training, he says, well, يُؤْمَرُ بِهِ الصَّبِيِّ إِذَا طَاقَهُ, that the one that hasn't reached puberty should be told to fast if he's able to, if they carry the ability to. If they're able to handle it throughout the day, then they should be told to fast. And usually around Asa, they're ready to break, they get a little restless.
Let them go ahead and break it.
I mean, you can, it's not obligatory. Some of the Salaf, they would give them toys to play with,
To take
Take
your
your
mind
take
off.
their mind off and
Use it in that
fast,
push.
right? Just to carry them over.
No.
Allah.
No.
Tayyib. Now he moves on to, how do we know Ramadan has entered? So number one, we got to know that Ramadan is based on the Islamic calendar. The Islamic calendar, the Hijri calendar. Does anybody know how many months the Hijri calendar, the Islamic calendar has how many months? Anybody know?
It's 12.
12. Sahih. The Hijri calendar, the Islamic calendar has 12 months. But Ramadan is the 9th month. But it's important, we got to know the 8th month. I mean, we need to know all of them. But we need to know the 8th month right now. We need to know the 8th month, the 9th month, and the 10th month for this whole. For these rulings coming down, you got to know the 8th month, and the 9th month, and the 10th month. And I think the 8th month might have started today. Sha'ban. So the 8th month is Sha'ban. Sha'ban is the 8th month. The 9th month is Ramadan. And the 10th month is Shawwal. The 10th month is Shawwal. Yarhamukallah. The 10th month is Shawwal. So on the Islamic calendar,
What was the category that he named it as? Like
Which
he
one?
said, that we on now. What is Ramadan?
when does Ramadan begin? How do we know Ramadan has entered? The month of Ramadan started already, or when it starts. Tayyib. So Sha'ban is the 8th month. Ramadan is the 9th and Shawwal is the 10th. So he says, وَيَجِبُ بِأَحَدِ ثَلَاثَةِ أَشْيَاء. Ramadan, it becomes obligatory to fast Ramadan. We know it's Ramadan now 3 ways. There's 3 ways that we know for sure that it's Ramadan. Tayyib. 3 ways that we know Ramadan, for example, is tomorrow. And that's another issue we got to deal with. The night. The night. What is the night in Islam? Tayyib. The first way that we know it's Ramadan, he says, Kamal Sha'ban. Kamal Sha'ban. That the month of Sha'ban, which is which month? The 8th month. The 8th month is finished. It's completed. Right? The 8th month of Sha'ban is complete. If the 8th month of Sha'ban is complete, then we know the next day is Ramadan. Right? Then how do we know the 8th month of Sha'ban is complete?
The sighting of the moon.
Tayyib, the sighting of the moon. Jade.
Or
Or after
the
Maghrib.
completion of days.
Huh?
Or after Maghrib.
After Maghrib.
The
completion of days.
They fall in the same thing.
How many days?
If it's not cited on the 29th, then you complete 30 days of Sha'ban.
Like, that's Kamal Sha'ban is 30 days.
No.
If it goes 30 days, if Sha'ban is 30 days, for sure Ramadan is the next day. Because the month doesn't go more than 30 days. Tayyib.
No.
If Sha'ban goes to 30 days, the next day is Ramadan. No khilaf, there's no difference of opinion on that. Ijma', they say, but ijma'. Consensus of the scholars. If Sha'ban goes to 30 days, meaning the 29th, they go to look for the moon, they don't see it, it goes to 30 days, Tayyib, the next day is Ramadan. That's the first way. Kamal Sha'ban. Kamal Sha'ban. That Sha'ban goes 30 days. The second way that we know Ramadan is beginning, it says, وَرُؤْيَةِ هِلَالِ Ramadan. That we see, or the sighting of the crescent moon for Ramadan. Right? Which could be, it's possible that Sha'ban goes 29 days, and then the moon is sighted. طيب? It's possible. It's possible. Sha'ban, the moon is not sighted on the 29th day. And this is why every year we got to go out and look for the moon. Because it's not, the sighting is based on the moon. It's not based on the prayer schedule. Right? It's based on the moon sighting. So if 29 days go by for Sha'ban, we know that the month in Islam could be either 29 days, at the most 30. So once 29 days goes by in Sha'ban, right? Those people responsible, they go sighting for the moon. All right, is the moon from Ramadan, is it there? They go looking. If it's there, khalas. That's number 2. That's the second one. The sighting of Ramadan is the second way that we know, if they see it. If they don't see it, then the first one applies. That means Sha'ban goes to 30 days and it's complete. Walden?
It should be done for every month.
Every month. It's important for it's intensified during Ramadan, but
no, but it should be done.
It applies to every month because there's other rules like in Ashura.
Yeah, because how would you know you're in each month?
Exactly.
What day it is?
Exactly. Well, they use a lot of times they might go by it. It intensifies during those months that have worship connected to them.
No.
Ramadan, Hajj, Ashura, fasting that day, the day before and the day after. I'm sorry, the day before and the day after. Yeah. Those days it's intensified the sightings, but it could be done every month to let you know when the month enters, right?
No.
And when the next month is going out.
Also for like the fasting of the 13th, the 14th, the 15th,
there you go.
like that.
The white days, for the fasting of the white days, right? Even though you can see them,
no.
Inshallah. But yeah, for those reasons, for the worship is attached. The worship is attached to the Islamic calendar. So you gotta know when the month starts, when is the middle of the month, and those type of things for that reason.
So the white days, when you say the 13th, 14th, and the 15th, you're not speaking from a Gregorian calendar point of view. You're talking the Islamic calendar. 13, 14,
everything, Islamically, everything Islamically is connected to the Islamic calendar.
Okay, so is it possible that, like, since you got a numerical order for each month,
right?
Then you're gonna know when the end of the month is anyway. Just
no, it's actually, that's why I asked him. It actually would be according to
it's according to the Islamic calendar.
Right.
The calendar sighting. It's possible they could fall on the same. Sometimes it happens they fall. It's the 25th when it's the 25th on both calendars, but not all the time. Right now it's the 1st of Sha'ban, and this is what, the 27th.
27.
They don't match.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't match, so you can't use the Gregorian calendar for the Islamic rulings.
Understood.
Walden? Tayyib. If Sha'ban completes 30 days, we know it's Ramadan the next day. If they go out after 29 days in Sha'ban looking for the moon and they see the moon in Ramadan, I mean, we did 29 days in Sha'ban and went by. They go and they look for the moon. Ramadan. Right? And they see the hilal, they see it, it's Ramadan the next day. So either they see the moon or they don't see the moon. If they don't see the moon, then we are on 30 days. Clear?
Well, would it be considered that Ramadan starts that night and the fasting starts that next day?
Yeah, we're going to get to that right now. Inshallah.
It seems like that be like that all the time because we be like, you pray Tarawih that night.
Hey, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what
it is.
Yeah.
The third one, and here is where it mentions the Layla. What is the night? The night always comes before the day. So when we did 29 days of Sha'ban, right? So for example, if tonight is the 29th day of Sha'ban, that means tomorrow will be the 30th day of Sha'ban, right? But right now, after Maghrib, is considered Layla Thalathin. Tonight is the night of the 30th day. Tomorrow is the 30th day, but right now, starting at Maghrib, is the 30th night. Walden?
No, because the night comes before.
The night comes before the day. Every month. Every day.
Every day.
So, the first one is clear. Sha'ban goes 30 days, khalas, Ramadan. The second one, they went out 29 days, so they went out like today. After Maghrib, they went out, they saw the hilal for Ramadan. Tomorrow's Ramadan. That means Sha'ban was 29 days. Right? طيب. The last one, it says ووجود غيم أو قطر ليلة الثلاثين يحول دونه. And this one here, طيب. They go out, 29 days pass. طيب. 29 days pass. Which means that tonight after Maghrib we got to go out and look for the moon. طيب. They go out and look for the moon. If they see the moon, tomorrow's Ramadan. Right? If they don't see the moon, then what?
30 days of Shaban.
Then we're going to complete Shaban 30 days.
Then it's automatically Ramadan after that.
Then we know it's Ramadan after that because it can't go over 30 days. But if they go to spot the moon, to sight the moon, and when they go to sight the moon, it's cloudy.
On the 29th or the 30th?
On the 29th, tonight. Tonight is the 20th. That means right now we're going to look out, we go look sight the moon, it's a cloudy night. Sandstorm.
They go another day, 30 days, because it wasn't clear.
Ah.
The sight was not clear.
طيب. They said, I'm sorry, fuck.
If it's according to 30 days, how come some masjids in like Philly, like they have the Eid before other masjids?
We're going to do that right after this. طيب. You with me? طيب. We go out the 29th day to spot the moon. If we see the moon, tomorrow's Ramadan. If we don't see the moon, then we're going 30 days, we're completing. So if we go out to spot the moon, it's cloudy. Can't see. Is the moon there? It's cloudy.
It's cloudy. You can't
It's dusty, you can't see.
go another day.
Huh?
You have to go
They say in this case, dakhala Ramadan. You fast the next day as if it's Ramadan. And this issue is khilaf. This is where ulama differ. Some say no, you don't fast that day. Ramadan hasn't entered. But the issue comes here is
Do they use the hadith?
hadith.
Where the Prophet ﷺ also says when you sight the crescent of the moon,
طيب.
do they use that as an addendum
To fast?
to not fast?
Yeah, they didn't
don't-
see it.
That's what I'm saying.
They saying that
use
you
it-
right.
They use that as a proof for going 30 days for Shaban.
Yeah, and that's the issue. The issue is in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, Sumu li ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi. Fast when you sight the crescent and break the fast at the end of the month when you sight the crescent again. طيب فإن غم عليكم فاقدروا له فاقدروا له. طيب if you go out and it's cloudy, it's coming in the hadith. If you go out and you can't see it, it's cloudy. فاقدروا له. The difference comes in what does that mean? فاقدروا له. The ulama interpreted two different ways. Some interpret it to mean, in short, to consider the previous month 29 days. Because that word comes in another surah and it means to make something late, tight, to tighten something. They say with regards to the month, you tighten it up and make it 29 days. And then they also say Ibn Umar, radiallahu anhuma, he's the one who narrated this hadith. And Ibn Umar, when this thing would happen, the narrator of the hadith, when this would happen, he would fast the next day. And they say the one who narrated the hadith, his action is an explanation of the hadith itself. The fact that Ibn Umar would fast, they say that explains the hadith, how it's supposed to be understood.
That's clear.
Well then, for the ones who say you should fast, that's their argument. The ones who say you shouldn't fast, they say, la, you shouldn't fast that. Why not? Because there's another hadith explaining what faqduru lah means. And in the other narration it says, akmilu, complete. It says complete.
So it's two different definitions for the same word.
Ayo. What it is one hadith. One explanation comes from the action of Ibn Umar. The other hadith, it explains it with the wording of the Prophet ﷺ. Well then, the other hadith says, فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَأَكْمِلُوا 30 يَوْمًا. If you go out and you can't see it, to complete it 30 days. It's hadith. But you're taking, it's not a knock on either one, but what the reality is, you have a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, right? You have the action of a Sahaba. Tayyib ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma. You have the action of Ibn Umar who narrated the hadith. And that's where the khilaf comes in on if you should fast when it's cloudy. Tayyib. If the people the issue of people starting on different days. If the people go, that's the local sighting, in deciding. How do we know when to start? Like, we'll do that with the next one. Clear? Those are the three ways. Either Sha'ban goes 30 days, or the hilal is spotted for Ramadan, the crescent is spotted for Ramadan, or the third way, and the third way is difference of opinion. It's a lot of khilaf in the third one. If it's cloudy out there, what should you do? Some say you fast the next day, ihtiyatan, and that plays a part. That plays a part for stuff that's going to come a little later. You fasting, basically, and you didn't see the moon. But as a precautionary, it might be Ramadan, it might be there, we just can't see it. So they say, tayyib, you fast, following statement of the hadith, understand the hadith and the action of Ibn Umar. The other ones say, no, you complete 30 days. Tayyib. Here, in this book, he goes with the statement that you fast. Tayyib, he's following how Ibn Umar did it. So the rest of this is based on fasting. Tayyib, you fast as it comes. That's how we know, because this is the three ways we know Ramadan started. When we say three ways, you know Ramadan started by three ways. Either Sha'ban went 30 days, or they spotted the moon for Ramadan, it was clear out, they saw the moon. The third way is that they went to sight the moon, but it was cloudy. Couldn't tell, so what do? Fast, as if it's Ramadan the next day.
So that's the opinion he going with,
Hey,
what you just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you only do that only when it's cloudy, because if it's
That's
clear,
the third one is when it's cloudy. When it's clear, you can see it.
you can see it.
If you see the moon for Ramadan, it's Ramadan. If you don't see the moon, it goes 30 days.
Because I know some people just go ahead and won't fast because they can't see nothing, so they'll just take it to 30
That's
days.
one opinion. They can do that.
Okay.
So, am I all right with thinking that sighting of the moon and all of that, in opposed to, I'm going to call overseas to see what the sheikhs say, you know, if they sighted the moon over there, and that has nothing to do with over here, or from your standpoint of view.
Right.
Right?
We're going to get to that.
Nothing to do with...
We're going to get to that next.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Does he go with the action of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu because he was his student? Because he would have, because Ibn Umar was the student of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
It's the khilaf. It's khilaf. If a person did that, alhamdulillah, you can't really knock him.
No.
It's a khilaf mu'tabar. It's a recognized difference.
No.
Or the matter is recognized. It's nothing new. There's nothing, be arguing and going at each other about. It's a recognized khilaf.
So either way,
if whatever depends on the level of the person. Depends on the level of the person. Every person is different.
right.
A person, they're required to do further study. They can't just say, I'm going with the sheikh. Depending on the level. A person, they might not have as much knowledge, they can just take the statement of a scholar that they trust. And that's fine.
Right, because they provide proof.
Yeah, that's fine.
Could I just interject with one thing? I heard what he just said, and what about the person who just is a God-fearing?
This is the stronger opinion, according to him. The next sheikh writes a book, according to the next sheikh, the other one is stronger.
And
Khalas.
earlier you mentioned something about the isnad or chain of narrations and all that, right? But the musnad, what was that again?
Or the musnad. That's the name of Imam Ahmed's hadith book. Now, ya Sahih Bukhari.
That's
a whole book by itself. Musnad of Imam Ahmed.
Okay, I forgot.
طيب. تفضل.
تفضل.
ايش؟
The word?
فأكملوا.
The one that you said brought about the difference.
In the hadith it says فنقوم عليكم فاقدروا لك فاقدروا له لا فاقدروا له. Hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. And what does it mean? The difference is, what does that word mean? طيب. The next issue, وإذا رأى الهلال وحده صام فإن كان عدلا صام الناس بقوله. If a person sees the hilal, one person, right? Psalm. Say, for example, there's a committee to go sight the moon. This other brother, he's not part of the committee. He goes by himself, for example. They go look for the moon. He sees the moon, or just he sees the moon himself. He sees the moon for Ramadan. Nobody else sees it except this person. You with me? Usually it's more than one person that goes to spot the moon. Someone goes by himself. One person by himself. He sees the moon by himself. He says Psalm. He fasts. That person fasts. He saw the moon. He's sure bil yaqeen. Yaqeen, and he saw the moon. He saw the hilal for Ramadan. He knows tomorrow's Ramadan because he saw it. Tayyib? Clear? He was by himself. فَإِنْ كَانَ عَدْلًا صَامَ النَّاسِ بِقَوْلِهِ. If the person, if that one individual, and this shows the importance of a Muslim, behaving like a Muslim. If that one person is considered adl, trustworthy, if he's considered trustworthy, the rest of the Muslims are going to fast based on his statement. إِنْ كَانَ عَدْلًا. If he's considered a trustworthy person. Was trustworthy. The details of a trustworthy person was adl. Detail comes in the books of Usul al-Fiqh. In the chapter of Jarh Ta'dil. We're not going to go into that. I'm going to start no trouble. In the chapter of Jarh Ta'dil, they go into detail of how you know to narrate a person's trustworthy. Or what removes the description of a person being trustworthy. Some sins. There's certain sins that remove the label of you being a trustworthy person. We can't accept your statement in the courts. Islamic courts can't accept anything you say. If you saw the moon for Ramadan, we're not accepting that. Because you did this, and the third. You're not considered trustworthy anymore. Shows the importance that if you read some of those things that remove a person's adala, that removes a person's description of being trustworthy, a lot of us, a lot of us, wouldn't make it. He says, فَإِنْ كَانَ عَدْلًا صَامَ النَّاسِ بِقَوْلِهِ. That if he's considered trustworthy, from the people fast according to his statement. Now, when you say the people fast, all of the Muslims or the Muslims in that area? Right? Somebody sees the moon, or the committee, they go spot the moon. When they spot the moon, do all of the Muslims fast? Or just the people in the area? Another issue of khilaf that happened during the time of the Sahaba. And there's dalil for both sides. There's proof, there's evidence for a local sighting. And there's evidence for international sighting. Whoever from amongst you sees the moon, فَلْيَصُمْهُ. You should fast. That's not restricted to if you're in this area. The ayat is not restricted to those people in a certain area. But there's another hadith that comes, and some of the Sahaba came from one area, from one country, they came to Medina. And that hadith is in Umdah. It's in Umdah that, inshallah, we'll do that during Ramadan in detail. But, point being, there's room. There's room. The best thing is if all the Muslims fast together, but if a person chooses to follow a local sighting, buy it. Sahaba that did it. When they came to Medina and they found the other ones, they said, you're going to break your fast. And he said, and they started fasting the day before him. He said, you're not going to break your fast with us? Nah. Ibn Abbas, but I forgot who it was that came to him. I can't remember who it was that came to him. But the Sahaba. It doesn't make a person, an innovator because they follow a local sighting. It doesn't make a person, we're saying the stuff we do every year. Sahaba already been through it.
We've been in a situation through years.
Yeah.
They've been like,
It doesn't make a person innovator or extra for following an international sighting. If a Muslim sees the moon for Ramadan, they can fast. All the Muslims can fast. If a person, they have the option, if they want to do a local sighting, they can do a local sighting. So, khilaf mu'tabar. It's a difference of opinion that's recognized.
And it's proof that you...
And it's proof for both sides. It's proof for both sides. We arguing about stuff that's really not that big a deal. And when you explain that to people, you explain to your teachers and stuff, or them mad about the stuff we're arguing about, they be looking like ignorance. It's ignorance. Y'all, they don't know. People don't know. Y'all gotta teach. Y'all gotta teach because people don't know. If they knew, there's no way y'all be arguing about that kind of stuff. If y'all knew the basics, it's impossible. This is old. This is old. These are old issues. It's new to us, but they're old. They're old issues. So if he sees the moon, one person, he fasts for sure himself. If he's trustworthy, the other people are going to fast along. They're going to accept his statement, and all the Muslims going to fast. He says now, وَلَا يُفْطِرُ إِلَّا بِشَهَادَةِ عَدْلَيْنِ. At the end of the month, لَا يُفْطِرُ. The people don't break their fast except if two people see the moon. That's the asl. The asl in the shahada is that it's two people. The origin of the shahada is that it's two witnesses. When the month entered, there's a specific dalil, there's a specific text that allows the month to enter for Ramadan. When Ibn Umar went and he told the Prophet ﷺ that the moon was spotted, he accepted Ibn Umar's statement. One person. But the moon, when it leaves, when the month is over, لا يفطر إلا بشهادة عدلين. Trustworthy, not just two people. Not just two people, and he grab anybody. Two trustworthy people. عدلين. Two trustworthy people. طيب. And that it's mentioned more. It's not just mentioned in this chapter about being trustworthy. It's not just mentioned in the chapter of Ramadan. It's also mentioned in the chapter of Salat, Kitab al-Salat, about the Mu'adhin. Who should call the adhan? He has the descriptions of the Mu'adhin. He should be trustworthy. He should be a trustworthy person. So some of the ulama said that the Mu'adhin, if he's be a known sinner and he calls the adhan, it's not valid. That's in the Kitab al-Salat, chapter of Salat.
You know, like every year the brothers say like the Eid can fall on like different days.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. It's always like an argument.
Right.
Is it possible that like Ramadan could also be 29 days instead of 30?
Exactly.
No. If you don't see the moon on the 29th day, you go alone.
Exactly. That's why. And it all goes back to which sighting. Maybe the local sighting, they saw the moon. Maybe the international sighting, they didn't see the moon. Every month is either going to be 29 or 30 days, depending on the moon. If the moon is sighted, it's 29. If the moon is not sighted, it goes to 30. Right? You might be following the local sighting. You might go with your local masjid. 29 days, they saw the moon. So they say, we're having an Eid tomorrow. The next brother next to you, he's going with the international sight, which he can do, and you can do. The international sight, they didn't see the moon, so they fasting tomorrow. So it's better. It'll be better if we all on one page. It's better. It'll be stronger for the Muslims, but it is what it is, and it's not an issue that should, tears us apart. Every year it tears us apart. The same stuff.
While we here, should we go with the international or should we go with the local?
Which is better?
Yes.
Some of the early men say local sighting is better. It's real.
While you over there learning, that's what they said. You go with the local where you at.
They don't say you have to.
Okay.
They said it's better.
It's better.
Recommended.
It's better.
Because by being local, we all can do it together.
It's all on one page. One to eat at the same time. Remember, it was a year, maybe 2 years or 3 years ago. We all started at the same time.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, it was nice.
Everywhere.
It was nice. We was all saying, I don't know how the Eid went, but at least at the beginning, it felt, you could feel it. Everybody started on the same, alhamdulillah.
I remember like 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that. Might have been longer than that. We started in.
Alhamdulillah, it's better. We just get caught up in, going at each other for he's following the local, he's following the internet. Oh, why? Person do what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable following the local sighting, follow local sighting. One thing's for sure, the sighting of the moon is a serious thing. I'm not saying anything about anybody. But it's a serious thing to go sight the moon and have all of the Muslims following the statement of whoever went out to handle the task. So the people that handle the task, they gotta be people who they know what they're doing, they qualified. A person might say, I don't know who, whatever the reason to be. He chooses to do this one, they can do it. The other one chooses to do it, they can do it. It's not really an issue that we should be arguing over, as it's a recognized khilaf. طيب. It says, وَلَا يُفْطِرُ إِذَا رَآهُ وَحْدَهُ. And he doesn't break his fast at the end of Ramadan. At the end of Ramadan. He went 29 days, and he's the only one that sees the moon. Say, in this case, he doesn't just break his fast by himself. He has their Eid when everybody has their Eid. Right? They said in the beginning, if he goes and sees the moon himself, he what? He fasts. He saw the moon, bil yaqeen. He's sure that he saw the moon from Ramadan is in. So he knows it's Ramadan tomorrow, so he fasts. Like if he goes and he sees the moon by himself, he's going to have their Eid on his own. They say la. They say no, that he doesn't fast or he doesn't break his fast alone. Tayyib. It goes back to an issue that has to do with the beginning of the month, how Ramadan came in. He says, وَإِنْ صَامُوا بِشَهَادَةِ اثْنَيْنِ ثَلَاثِينَ يَوْمًا أَفْطَرُوا. If they began to fast at the beginning of Ramadan, and there were two people, the two shahadatain, the two trustworthy people who saw the moon. Tayyib. At the beginning of the month, they went and sighted the moon. Two people, two trustworthy people. They started. Everybody started fasting based on their statement. On you two, Khalas. Everybody fast based on your statement. Tayyib. We fast 30 days. Right? We fast 30 days. Ramadan can't go past 30 days. Right? It says, وَإِنْ صَامُوا بِشَهَادَةِ اثْنَيْنِ ثَلَاثِينَ يَوْمًا أَفْطَرُوا. That everybody breaks the fast after 30 days. The origin of a shahada, the witnesses that it has to be two. Two, the month entered. Based on their two statements, we fast 30 days, we break the fast after 30 days. We have to eat the next day. Tayyib. What if the month entered, and this goes back to the beginning, وَإِنْ كَانَ بِغَيْمٍ. When we started fasting in the beginning of the month, we started fasting on the day that it was cloudy. Right? We went out to see the moon. It was cloudy that night. Right? Oh, qawli wahid. Or the month started based on one person's statement, not two people. When we started the month, it was only one trustworthy person that told us. Like we got two different issues. The first issue is when the month entered, we started fasting like Ibn Umar did. Like Ibn Umar went to see the moon, it was cloudy. What did he do? He fasted the next day. Ihtiyatan, just as a precautionary. It might be Ramadan. Tayyib. He says, وَإِنْ كَانَ بِغَيْمٍ. If they started the month and it went 30 days now. Started the month, it was cloudy. We went 30 days, right? لَمْ يُفْطِرُوا. We don't break the fast. We don't went 30 days, right? We won't break the fast. You with me? No. Like, Ramadan comes in, we go to spot the moon, like tonight. We go after Maghrib, it's cloudy. Can't see the moon. According to this opinion, right here, what do? If it's cloudy, we fast tomorrow. Tomorrow's Ramadan. Khalas? Everybody with me? Khalas? Later. We go 30 days. Do Ramadan. Does Ramadan go past 30 days? La. We go 30 days. Still didn't see the moon. Huh? La. Lam yuftiru. If we went 30 days and we didn't see the moon, and we started the month based on a fast because it was cloudy, that means what? That means the first day
didn't count.
Which means ultimately we're going to fast 31 days because the first one didn't count.
Technically, but in theory it's 20.
Wally?
No.
Clear?
Okay.
You want me, Syed?
Yeah.
Follow.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Just like no month can go past 30 days.
Right.
So say if the month before the Saban goes 30 days. So wouldn't it make sense that Ramadan will be the next day?
Yeah.
Whether you decided it or not.
Exactly. In that case, yeah. That's the first one. If it goes 30 days, khalas, the next day is Ramadan. But in this case, we went out, it was cloudy. So we don't really know. We never really know from the beginning if it was. It's possible it was. When do we find out? We found out at the end. At the end of Ramadan, we did 30 days now. And we still didn't see the moon. I mean, that first day wasn't for Ramadan. That made me fast the next day. Well then, like, the same thing applies, not if it's cloudy. The same thing applies, the same idea applies if we started the month based on one person's statement. Like, if it was one person that saw it wasn't two. It was one brother that went out there and he saw it. Came back, he's trustworthy, but now we don't win 30 days and we don't see the moon. Maybe he made a mistake. It's possible. So they say in that case, those two cases, you don't break the fast. Even if you went 30 days, you complete, meaning the first day didn't count. طيب إلا أن يراه أيضا meaning the first طيب. So they say you don't break the fast until when? Either you see it or you complete the 30 days, not counting the day that you started. Either you see the moon or you don't, the first two. Either you see the moon or you complete 30 days. طيب. This next issue, which is the last one, I don't know how relevant, or it's possible. Some people may know. إذا اشتبهت الأشهر على الأسير تحرى وصام. If a person is locked up, right? They in jail. If a person is in jail and they become confused on when does Ramadan start. They don't know. Maybe they're in a situation in the jail. Maybe these days it might be hard to picture. The only Muslim in the jail. I don't know. Maybe put him on lockdown somewhere. He doesn't really know. He knows Ramadan is coming up, but he doesn't know when it starts for sure. Right? What does he do? He says, Taharra wa Sam. He goes on his best guess. If he goes on his best guess, one of three things is going to happen. He doesn't know. He's in a situation, he doesn't know when Ramadan starts. He's estimating now. If he estimates what's the possibility that's going to happen? The possibilities regarding to him fasting and it's actually Ramadan. Him estimating, or she estimates, all right, Ramadan starts tomorrow. Estimating.
He has to estimate off of the
people don't know. The guards, everybody non-Muslim, nobody knows. He's on his own.
He has to start from the origin, which is knowing the days of Shaban.
Like, he estimates all. It says what it says is either shtabahat. It becomes, it's different. He can't really determine. He's in a situation. He doesn't know. Was it Shaban last week? I don't know what it is. I know Ramadan's coming up. Like, I'm going to fast tomorrow, start Ramadan. One of three things. Three things is possible for him. Like, either one, he hits it on the nose, and it is Ramadan tomorrow. Right? Which means his fast is sahih, it's okay. It's correct. Two, Ramadan started last week. He's just figuring it out. He starts fasting tomorrow, which means his fast is correct or incorrect?
Correct.
It's correct, but he got to make up the ones that he missed. Well then. Three, he started too early. Ramadan doesn't start for another month. Correct or incorrect? His fast. Incorrect. It's incorrect. It's not Ramadan.
I'm saying the fast become a voluntary fast?
It can be voluntary, but it ain't Ramadan. It doesn't count as being Ramadan. Right. So the first one, he hit it on the mark, which is not a problem. The second one, he started late, but his qada is still the ones he got. The ones that he missed, he has to make them up, qada. And the third one, he started the ibadah before his waqt. He started the worship before his actual time, which you can't do, just like the salah. You can't start the salah, you can't pray dhuhr and it's not time for dhuhr. You gotta wait till the time comes in. You can't make hajj and it's not time for hajj. The third one, he started the worship before the time of the worship, so that doesn't count.
Question. So, an individual wouldn't get any barakat for it and for an intention?
Inshallah.
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 But not for Ramadan.
As far as it being Ramadan,
he won't get it rewarded for that.
It won't be considered Ramadan.
Legislated.
Oh, yeah.
So he would
When
get
you
really fast in Sha'ban.
the reward
That's it.
for voluntary fasting.
Yeah.
That's
You
it.
said that
He
myself.
may never know because
He may never know, Allah
Staying
A'lam,
incarcerated.
right? Or he may come out. Say he comes out in the population or something. He finds out. If he never finds out, Allah A'lam. If he comes out, and he finds out,
he can correct what he messed
he can correct what he messed up. He can find out was he on time, was out before, and he can correct it. And that was the last issue. He says he estimates. فَإِنْ وَافَقَ الشَّهْرِ. If he agrees, if he starts his fast and it agrees with the beginning of Ramadan, that's one. He says أَجْزَأَهُ, that he's rewarded for that. Number two, وَمَا بَعْدَهُ. If he started and it was after Ramadan, then he's also rewarded for that. Because the Ramadan was in, he just started late, so he just got to make up the ones he missed. The third one, وَإِنْ وَافَقَ مَا قَبْلَهُ. But if he started fasting and it was before Ramadan, لَمْ يَجْزِي. That doesn't count. He's not rewarded for that one because he performed the act of worship before the actual time for that worship. And as they say, it's like the waqt of the salat, that you can't do the act of worship before its official time. كَالصَّلَاةِ وَالْحَجِّ إِذَا أَخْطَأَ فِيهِ الْوَاحِدِ. As it's other acts of worship that have designated times. And we'll stop there until next week, inshallah. The next chapter is Babu Ahkam al-Muftirin fi Ramadan, the chapter of those who are allowed to break their fast in Ramadan.
One, he wasn't aware, and then two, is he rewarded for the intention?
Inshallah, he's rewarded for his intention. Because he's at this point, he's in a situation where he's out of his control. He's out of his control. It's out of his control. He doesn't know. He knows Ramadan is coming. He wants to fast Ramadan. If he lands on it, alhamdulillah. If he finds out later, he can fix it up. But this is a situation where it's a darura. It's a necessity, out of necessity. It's a hardship. What else is he going to do? Muslim, he knows Ramadan is coming. He estimates to the best of his ability. If he hits it on the nose, alhamdulillah. If he hits it after it, alhamdulillah, he can fix it. If he hits it before it, qadarullah ma shafa. Fix it afterwards, inshallah. That's the best a person in that situation can do. Allah. We'll stop there. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.